Permanent Secretary in the Labour Ministry, I think she pronounces her first name Dion Jennings, what she told the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee about the program, what exactly it intended to do, who are the people it intended to assist, and how many people applied, and how much is it for the payout. You'll hear that, and you will also hear questions that came from Dr. Alfred Dawes about the program and the money that is unspent. Listen, when you listen to these programs, if you have a neighbor who you think, when you hear the things, if you have a neighbor who you think can benefit, please tell the neighbor. Please tell them to apply. Listen to who you hear qualifies, and you tell them to apply. Because that's what we do. We're supposed to pull people up, the people who are listening to the radio. Help those who don't have any radio and cannot listen. This program was intended for exactly that group of people, the ones on the roadside who nobody's helping, who is old, who is vulnerable, the child who is not in school, who has not been on path, who is not helped, and who all MPs and councillors know, and they sat down, didn't tell enough people about it, and they come to complain when enough people didn't apply, or those who apply didn't qualify, and it becomes a headline to say government pocket the money. Let's hear what happened in the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee.
To date, and how many of the beneficiaries were elderly, vulnerable, and how many grants were provided to students, skills trainees, business persons, and what follow-up support was provided to the beneficiaries, and are there any amounts still remaining? So I won't get into the Solidarity Program except to say it's the 1 billion program that was announced in June 2025 to provide grants to persons who would have met the criteria: elderly, vulnerable, and persons who are not in school or in employment, and who are not currently benefiting from other programs such as PATH, NIS, social pension, and other government of Jamaica assistance programs. So to move to your question, Chair and members, how many persons in each of the 63 constituencies have benefited to date? We would have provided you with that information, and to note that we have a total of 11,521 persons who would have benefited from the program. And to also note that there is an extension of the payment period up to the end of June, so persons are still accessing the benefit to date. In terms of the beneficiaries, how many were elderly persons, vulnerable, or aspiring persons by category? Wasn't so sure what that category was. But in terms of elderly persons, we had 3,459 young adults 18 to 35 who are not currently employed, in school, or receiving training, and I figured those are the aspiring persons. 4,523 applicants. For low-income informal workers, we had 9,881. And for adults without a birth certificate, we had 90.
Printable Tai Chi chair.
Yes, just pause it and come then. So, you see, by my back of envelope calculation now, the 11,521 people who qualified, that works approximately to 182 people per constituency. Bearing in mind that it's not going to be a split like that. And you're telling me that these 63 MPs You guys couldn't find more than 500 people in your constituency each to apply for this particular grant? Huh? You're laying the blame at the wrong place. From June last year, this thing was announced and ongoing. And based on the people who applied, 11,521 qualify. 182 people per constituency. And we're talking about elderly, vulnerable, not employed, not benefiting from PATH. You guys sat there and you come to question. Let's hear some more of what the permanent secretary said.
Essential medical services, but lacking the resources to pay for treatment. We had 31, 156 for micro business owners, and 152 for persons with disabilities. So in all, we had over 18,000 persons, applicants. And for the elderly persons, as I'd indicated earlier, 3,459, and the other groups that you would have mentioned. For vulnerable persons in total, 10,310. And in terms of the grants provided to students, skilled trainees, and business persons, what we call the NEET category, the program did not include specific categories for students, skills trainees, or business persons. So, however, we had the category for young adults between the ages of 18 and 35 and who were not currently employed or in school or receiving training. We had 4,523 persons who were approved for payment. All right. For question 4, what follow-up support was provided to beneficiaries to enhance the long-term impact of the assistance? So the ministry has taken this group as a priority group. As you know, this is a group that would be considered usually excluded. They're not always easy to reach. They're not aware of some of our programs and so on. But through our outreach activities, through our job fairs, and other activities, persons will be able to receive the assistance that is necessary. We have already referred persons to other government agencies to address their documentation, their employment training, and other needs in real time. And so that is going to be another project for us in terms of the support. I would have indicated the category of the persons and what their needs were. So we would have referred 90 persons to the RGD. We have 3,459 persons who we are looking at for our own social pension programs.
People think...
So that's Dion Jennings, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, explaining to the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee that of the 11,521 people who they vetted and who qualified for this one-off payment under the Solidarity Program, they're following up with these 3,459 elderly, those without birth certificate. They've been referred to RGD. The young adults are being put in skills training. Low income, they are being assisted. So what I'm understanding from Labour is that there is a sort of a plan that is developing around almost every single individual. Those who are caught on PATH, there's a stream for you. Those who are unemployed, there's a stream. Vulnerable, there's a stream. Those falling in unemployed, no birth certificate, you're being referred to RGD. And the system has to be helped. Let me go to a break. Back with you. We'll be taking your calls in a moment. 876-926-2178. I want you to hear some of the questions that came from Dr. Alfred Dawes to the Permanent Secretary in Labor Ministry when she outlined how much was allocated from the Solidarity Program. The one-off 1 billion allocated 230 something million to be distributed because only 11,521 people qualified, and so what was left of the money was sent back to central government for what she said, I believe, was debt payment. Let's hear the questions.
Dr. Dawes, good morning.
Could you speak directly into the microphone?
Good morning. Just to clarify something, of the $1 billion, only 230 million in approved payments so far?
Correct.
So we are at 23% of the funds. How long has this been programming going on?
June 2025.
And so we still have 75% of the funds unspent. And we are just at only about 63% of the of the applicants being selected for disbursement. What's the plan for spending the rest of the money with the, we're at about a year out now, and only 63% of applicants have got money, and you still have the bulk of the money there sitting, while the truth is that, we have many of our constituents calling us night and day asking when are they going to get their grants.
Okay, so we're at the end of a financial year, so the monies would have been returned. Monies unspent would have been returned for debt reduction. And as I indicated to you, Chair and members, that we have the 11,521 persons who would have been approved for payment, and that represented the 230.4 million. So there are persons who would not have qualified for the program because they would not have met the criteria. So we had persons who were already on programs who would have submitted applications. So we would not have included those having not met the eligibility criteria. As I indicated, we are also looking at the persons who would have submitted their applications, who would have met the criteria but not have met it at the end of the financial year. We are treating with those persons. So we'll be treating with all the applicants who would have applied for the program.
All right.
So of the 30...
It seems to me everybody who goes inside that parliament building comes down with a would have disease. It's really difficult to listen to people speak these days. Even the Prime Minister heard at the post-cabinet press briefing take up this would have. The point is though, MPs, councillors, if you think you have people who are vulnerable, listen out for the programs and go line up your people. How is ministry to be blamed for this? How is it that only 11,000 people apply? I don't get it. And if this program is running for 1 year and the money is allocated to X, it has to go somewhere because there are other areas that need it. So don't get it twisted. 876-926-2178, 926-8631, 926-7615, 888-991-2080. I see you as well, Rear Admiral Hadley Lewin. I take you for a fool. body worn camera. This is a no-brainer. So I don't understand what the issue is. Who do you have there, Mrs. Fuller? 876-926-2178. Hello? This is a hotline. 2178. Good morning.
Yes, good.
You're breaking up. Hello?
Yes, good evening.
You're breaking. It's not so clear.